May 20th through the 22nd. A time my friend and I have been planning for since November of last year, after Youmacon. A time we spent meticulously planning our trip, among other things. This was an event that I've been to before, but my friend had always wanted to go. This is ASEN, the largest anime convention in the Midwest, located in Rosemont, Illinois, at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center. ASEN, or Anime Central, is an annual event, and the last time I went was in 2019. This year is the first year, after the big boom of the pandemic, that I decided I finally felt comfortable going to a convention again, and what a one to come back to. With many cosplayers, panels, posters, and a lot of fun, I'm happy to share the fun with you guys. So how this is gonna go is I'm gonna detail every day from day 0 to the final day, and I'll talk about what I did and how much money is gone from my wallet. Day 0. This was technically the first day of the con, but the only thing open was registration. So after a 5-hour drive from Michigan, we checked into the hotel and decided to head straight thereafter. There wasn't much to do there besides the registration, so after that, we decided to get some Chicago food, starting with a pizza place called Moretti's. Their pizza was good, but the pizza that we got was an Italian pizza with sausage, pepperoni, and sweet peppers. See, I thought it was gonna be sweet, but it was so spicy, it just wasn't enjoyable for me. After that, we thought it would be fun to go to a site in Chicago. I suggested the Bean, which is actually called the Cloud Gate, but most people just call it the Bean. But just 4 days before, there was a shooting there, so we decided to skip out on the Bean and go to the Sears Tower instead, or the Willis Tower as it's renamed now. This was your standard tall tower fare. Walk around, take the elevator up to the 135th floor, look at the entirety of Chicago from the tower, etc. There was also a short history of Chicago section before going up the elevator. I have some pictures there too. We took some nice pictures of Chicago from the top of the tower and had fun at the gift shop, all Chicago themed of course. After that, we walked around Chicago for about an hour just around the blocks. Got some cool pictures there too. We then finally headed back to the hotel, pumped for the day ahead. Day 1. The first day of the convention. Already from the get-go, we saw some cool cosplay from an Utena and even a Lolly King. This was still at the hotel, by the way. We took the shuttle there and started our day. We got to the con around 10 AM, I believe. By then, the dealer's hall and the artist alley were open, so we took initiative and went in. For around 2 hours, we walked around the dealer's hall, getting as far as possible into it. I bought some prints here and there, and I encountered many cosplayers that I enjoyed. After that, we went to the Anime Jeopardy panel. It was alright. They played Jeopardy weird, where if one person got the answer correct, they would just continue guessing questions till they got it wrong, which isn't how Jeopardy works. Usually they pick the question, and after the question is read, everyone can buzz in to see who gets the answer. There were some fun categories though, like stand, band, or both, but yeah. After that, we ended up going back to the dealer's hall to scout it out. At 2 PM, I went to the Sekai Project panel. They are the publishers of many different games, but mostly visual novels like Clannad and Nekopara. Their panel was cool. Prizes were given out from a very interesting rock, paper, scissors game, where the panelists would call out what he would and wouldn't throw. And they announced new games. Pretty fun stuff. Right after that, we ended up going to a gaming and anime karaoke panel, where you'd write down what you want to sing, and you sing in front of everyone. I went up and sang the opening to Persona 2. I was extremely nervous, but it was pretty good. Anyway, back to the dealer's hall after that. I bought a cool Hololive t-shirt when they did their collab with Omocat, the people who made Omori. Pretty fun. I also saw some cool cosplay and some quote-unquote interesting merch. After this, we waited in line for the Demon Dice concert, which had an insane line, and we got there an hour early. It went outside all the way to the streetlight and around the corner and even further. It was crazy. I took a video of part of the concert. The concert was no pictures or video, but the final 2 songs were allowed, so here's a part of it.
Here we go. I found myself here again. Guess I gotta tangle with the fear again. Low lights, shitty at night's my favorite time. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. 하도 비도가 그리워서도 우리 맞춰 하나씩 다 해도 근데 샘샘물이 you know. You ain't gotta worry but you don't anyway. Gotta save like for attention.
Now that the concert is over, we were pretty hungry, so we went to a bar in the Hyatt Regency. Pretty good stuff, but it was expensive, as is any convention food. On the way there, we spotted some more cool cosplay. This Dark Mage or Vivi cosplay was cool because their eyes moved. After eating, we went to the game room. It was pretty small. They had a lot of setups for like older games and even new stuff, but not much in the arcade section. We stayed in there because I was thinking about going to a midnight panel, but we decided against it, and that was the day, besides seeing more cosplayers. Day 2. The busiest day of the convention. That's usually how it goes. Anyway, we woke up early and we got to the con like around 9:30ish. There was a panel where they showcased a bunch of dubbed anime openings from the past, and they had some fire ones, like the Shaman King one. Right after that, we went to the Good Games Bad Anime panel, where we witnessed some of the worst adaptations of games into anime. We got to see the glory of the Donkey Kong show and the horrors of the many Capcom game adaptations, and many more. Pretty fun panel. After that was a long period in the artist alley where I bought way too many prints, which I will showcase now. I also took many more pictures of cosplayers, which was fun. I got so many business cards too, both today and tomorrow. At 2 o'clock was the Right Stuff and Nozomi Entertainment panel. I buy all my anime from Right Stuff, so I had to go. But the HoloLive panel for Gura and Bae was at 4, and there was already a line. I waited 2.5 hours for this panel. My friend went back to the hotel, changed, rested for a bit, got food, and still had time to come back to the line. That's how long it was. It was probably longer than the Demon Dice line, which was outrageous. Unfortunately, the panel was just okay. We couldn't take pictures or video, so I'll just talk about it. It was just them on screen, and sometimes we could see the audience on the screen because of the camera on stage. They played a game with the audience called 2 Truths and a Lie, where you tell 2 truths and 1 lie, and you have to figure it out. Gura did 2 lies and a truth, and that was fun. After that was some cosplayers showing their cosplay, but that was about it, or all that I can remember. I wish there was a Q&A at the event, but there was a meet and greet with the 2, but it was a lottery and I didn't get it, which was sad, but whatever I guess. Right after that panel, we went to another panel where they rated anime openings based on if they were good, bad, or ugly, which is when an opening isn't bad, but just sounds weird. Pretty fun. We then went to the Synergy DJ panel. A bunch of DJs ranging from Moe Shop to James Landino were all there talking about their process behind making music. It was interesting for a bit, but it started getting a little too long-winded for me. So my friend and I just decided to get some dinner. More cosplay walking over. After dinner, we split. My friend stood in line for the Synergy concert while I went back to the hotel to rest. After resting, I came back for an interesting 2 panels, but more cosplay walking over. These 2 panels, by the way, were Hentai Voiceover and Hentai Hell. Hentai Voiceover was basically if someone abridged a hentai, and it was super funny. I was dying laughing. I thought it would be weird at first, but it was actually pretty fun. 18 plus only, for obvious reasons. Right after that was Hentai Hell. The description was, and I quote, "Come spend another 2 hours being traumatized by the most insane showcase of 18+ material you've ever seen." For a majority of it, it was bad, obviously, but I honestly thought it would be worse. They definitely can't show the worst stuff because they're still in a public place, but man did they show some bad stuff. I didn't realize they would show in real life stuff too, but they showed a man put a finger in his... I never want to see that again, and that was probably the worst of it. The rest was just very strange hentai stuff. They also showed poop, which was gross. But there was one where an anime girl sprayed her poop everywhere, but then the animation froze and it did like a slow motion bullet time around the poop. It's surprisingly funny, just like the panel. Imagine Mystery Science Theater, but for weird hentai. Pretty funny. After way too much of that, I went back around at like 2:30 a.m. Long day, but probably the best day. The final day. Sadly, all things must come to an end, and this day was that day. Started the morning right with some anime Name That Tune, my favorite panel to go to at these conventions. I love anime openings, and guessing them is something that I really enjoy, and I feel like I'm pretty good at. Unfortunately, I got dealt a bad hand, and got a round where I was up against very good people, and the openings were so hard. Afterwards, I walked back to my seat in shame, while every opening after my round I knew. I was infuriated, enraged, and I knew I had to guess every single one. So opening after opening, my hand shot up like a bottle rocket from its launcher. Many I knew, few I didn't. Despite not winning my round, I won the day, and that's all that matters. Anyway, enough of that. Today was the final day, so I browsed the rest of the artist alley that I missed yesterday and finished off the dealer's haul. I spent way too much yesterday, so I saved my money. For about 20 minutes. There was this Corone print that I had to get, and another print that looked so cool, so I also got it as well. At around 12, we waited in line for the Final Fantasy concert, made by the people who did the Distant Worlds concert, which is the common Final Fantasy concert. They played the classics like One Wing Angel, Xanarkand, and even the Chocobo theme. But they also played some unknowns like FF5, FF1, and there's even an FF15 song, but one I didn't recognize. They also played Force Your Way from Final Fantasy VIII, which is one of my favorite songs from that game. That concert was so hype, and I also bought something from the merch table outside of the concert, which I didn't even know they had. They had soundtracks from every concert they've done, plus soundtracks from some games, including Final Fantasy VII Remake. I needed that one, because they kept striking the songs I added to my playlist a while ago. But it was $75. Rough investment, but so worth it. After that was finishing up the dealer's haul, picking up some merchandise, and catching more cosplay. And yeah, that's everything. Long account of my weekend, but it was so fun. So much to do, and so much to see. This isn't my first rodeo, by the way. I went to ASEN back in 2019, where I got to see my favorite singer, Zach. I got an autograph from her, I got an autograph from Kristen Freeman, who plays Kyon in the English dub of Haruhi, got an autograph from the woman who played Nagisa from Clannad, and Reina from Higurashi in the Japanese, yeah, a Japanese voice actor, and so much more. That was so much fun. I've also been going to my local con, Youmacon, since 2015, so I have a lot of experience going to cons. At first, I was hesitant because of all the weird things I had heard about them, but don't let that deter you. That stuff is minor to all the fun you'll be having at these events. So much for the fans to do and an endless supply of fun. Check out a con in your area if you haven't already. Well, that's it for me. Hope you enjoyed this kind of video. Subscribe, leave a like, and comment if you like the content. Also do it anyway so you can get my channel to a wider audience. See you next time, and don't forget, join the Hive Mind.